Here we go.
I'm pausing.
Oh, okay.
Time to go.
Well, I got 1 minute, but I'm.
One.
I just. All right, it's 6 o'clock,
Is that?
Tuesday, December 9th. Call the county council meeting to order.
Listen, I bet they emailed.
I just opened somebody's iPhone.
We needed you email minutes.
No, we don't have those finished. Hey, Sean, can you come here for a second, please?
We'll give him a minute to make sure this is working.
It's like it's on somebody's iPhone.
It's also exam.
I thought.
Maybe one of them's yours.
That's somebody that's listening. Probably says their name.
I can't see it. Like it's not, the camera's not pick up.
Yeah, that's somebody that's.
Oh, yeah.
You got part of this.
Yeah.
You got your video up.
Oh.
Turn your video.
It was supposed to be on.
Good.
We'll be in just a second. Yeah, we're good. Thank you.
All right. Jaden, you wanna go first?
Sure. Nothing crazy this time. I just want to open up some, we have so much money that we know is coming. I'm just trying to be proactive and get some accounts opened up for that for next year. And I just wanted to give like quick updates. We talked about now that we've got all that money situated for next year and so on, just kind of giving updates as we go. Just kind of when I can get to council meetings, just let you guys know what's going on. We raised over $146,000 through grants and donations this year. Some of that's not public yet. But that should be, I don't think we're getting any more for the rest of the year. I only have a couple weeks, so I think I can pretty definitively say that should be what we have. We had 40 rentals, we hosted some really big events, had a great sorghum festival, packed the house, it was great.
How was the gun show?
It was good. It wasn't like super busy, but it was pretty good. They decided to do, they usually do 2 a year, they opted for 3 next year, so they're up in what they're doing.
Good.
And we're gonna do a spring event next year, gonna be great. But for what I need to request, we talked about opening up different accounts within Edit and Rainy Day for us. I just wanted to go ahead and get proactive on those, as well as a couple of restricted donation lines for us. So I can list those out really quick. In Rainy Day, just the creation of a Parks Board account or line item, the same in Edit. The creation of an outdoor amphitheater restricted donation line, an arena restricted donation line, a playground restricted donation line, walking path, nature observatory, building beautification and outdoor beautification and improvement restricted lines. So that's a couple of different accounts. We don't have the funds for all those yet, but we know they're coming in and just trying to be ready for when they do. So that way we don't have to wait for checks to get deposited and things like that.
So you need an account for each one of them?
Yes.
You have that wrote down?
Yep.
Can I have that?
so.
He's going faster than I
I just
thought.
remember that.
I don't think I can't write that fast. I was trying, but I couldn't.
That all you need?
That's all I need. Just
Alright.
the accounts. I think, is there one on there, Wendy, for the just not an outdoor amphitheater donation line, but just outdoor amphitheater? Actually, I think we should be okay. That should work
I
for
don't
that.
see it on here.
Outdoor amphitheater or just amphitheater. As long as that one's on there, we should be fine.
So you need to add that.
You're so looking. Oh, yeah, I see it.
Okay, yeah, no, that should be fine then.
That's on.
That should be good. Yep, that's all I need. Just need to make sure we have those ready to go. Is anything else needed from me for a vote on that, or are we good?
Are you gonna be getting grants, you said?
Those are mostly donations. We haven't got a new grant yet, but hopefully we do. But those would all be designated as donations. The stuff I know is coming.
So you're gonna put your donations into Rainy Day and Edit?
No, those are just account lines.
Okay.
Or just, when we need
Okay.
to spend something for next year,
Okay.
we have to make those
I
lines.
was just making sure you wasn't getting grants, cause if you do, just send over the information.
Yeah, no, we haven't got the big one that I'm talking about will be a donation, it won't be a grant.
Okay,
But yeah, I didn't know if there was a specific way we needed to do the line items in Rainy Day or Edit. I just knew we needed to do it, so I figured we'd go ahead and get the ball rolling.
Is that something I have to draft up?
it's just, it's line items that she wants to be able to use to pay things out of.
Like if we need to get more specific with a salary line and utilities and maintenance and all of that within those line items, we can do that too. I just didn't know
Yeah,
if
if you're
we were
going to be, if you're going to be using that for that, then we would have to create those like specific lines, like. If she wants utilities paid out of that, then we have to create the parks utilities.
Cause when we said that 500,000 couldn't get put into our 1219, we've gotta keep it rainy day and edit.
Yeah.
So it's just however you guys wanna split it, I just know we need the account numbers in there.
I'm just saying they have to correct anything.
I'll get with Jaden and ask if she wants, no, you don't have to draft
Okay.
anything, it's just line items.
Okay.
If she wants utilities or whatever, add it, and then we'll get that taken care of too.
Thank
All right, thanks. Next, we'll do the salary ordinance. You can read all these all this.
I don't know, we just need to ask if there's left over.
Did everyone look over at salary ordinance, or are you just now getting it, or?
I emailed it, but this is an updated one, where we had to change the EMS to where it was correct, and the shop foreman, those line changes that we had made on it.
So this is what we talked about in the budget
Yes.
hearings.
Mhm. This is with the 4% for the one, for the, except for the deputies and matron and the EMS, they got 2%. And if we do find out, you know, if something needs to be corrected, we can always amend it if need be. But I think, okay,
So you just punch in the percentage and it automatically generates that.
yeah, actually Jackie had a spreadsheet that she had created to make sure that the raises was gonna work, and then she sent that to us. So then we put it into an Excel spreadsheet. And that's why we had to change the EMS and the shop foreman, because it wasn't correct on there. But the rest of them was correct, Tristan calculated it.
Before there's a vote on salary ordinance, don't want to put the cart before the horse, but things that I'm here about pertains to that. So rather than that, just want to let everybody know, that's what I'm gonna be talking about, that's why. We'll vote on. Go from that.
Won't you maybe talk forward?
Yeah,
So we
Yeah, you want us to go ahead and your.
Sure.
So,
Two things, and I'll just do them both so that they're both out of the way. One of them, just real quick, getting all of my line items and budget up to date, and working with Wendy to do so, by the end of the year, so that nothing is in the red. My pedigree is showing in the red, so at some point this week or next week, I'll be making a request to move money to cover from jury pay to pedigree, to cover the $2,300 that's in the red. But as Wendy would tell you, she knows, we've talked about it, there's $1,200 that's gonna be sitting there, it's in the red. It's gonna have to be covered from somewhere. I'm not going to move money from any of my budget to cover it, because it is from where jurors have been paid multiple times. And I'm not going to use my funds to do so. Money is tight enough the way it is. The other thing I'm here about is getting raises for Cecilia and Jamie. And money's tight. So if it were my heir, if it were Cecilia's, Jamie's, anyone, then 1,214, I'd be moving. So that's not really a today thing, but if everything has to be in the black before January 1, gonna be $1,200, $12.14 from the Pettit jury that I'm not touching because I didn't do it. So I just wanted that to be on the radar.
We do have a method that's gonna work from now on, because that jury was a hot mess. I'm just gonna tell you. One office is doing it, then another office gets it, and they do it, and then it comes to us. Well, then it comes down to us again, and the name don't pull up, they get paid, so. I've got a system, I think it's gonna be better with the clerk's office and Justin's office, and Justin's gonna look at it before we pay anything. And then we're going to make sure by punching in the amounts, whatever we have to do, that that person has not been paid. So, but this will prevent this.
Have we always been paying twice or?
No, what happened was, is we got the jury list, it came down, and then all these people were calling saying they wouldn't been paid. Well, so then the jury list got created again, some of the names weren't on there, some of them were. It was just a mess. Like,
I guess I'm asking, is that why was it different this time?
I don't know, it's just, we get a list and we pay it, and then when we get a new list for a new jury panel, and those names are on that jury panel, it appears that it's, it's a totally different jury. But they got paid, I'm not blaming it on any office, it could have been, it's all three offices combined, I believe.
So you
So-
think it's something that you?
It has nothing to do with my office. I wanna get that straight.
Oh, well, that's not what Cecilia said when I talked to her.
So who sends the claim?
So Lisa creates all the names, and then apparently, from what I've been told, I don't know if this is so, Justin will be able to tell you because he works in there. Then it goes to Cecilia, Cecilia does whatever she does to it, and then it comes to our office. Cecilia don't always get all the names that has been sitting on the jury. So that's where, that part comes in. So then she comes down, works with our office, and then she has to go back and get a new list from Lisa. And then it starts all over. So that's just what I've been told. I don't know if that's how it works, but that's just what I've been told.
Can we just have one person in charge of paying?
Well, that's what Justin, your office was gonna do, correct? Was gonna take it over?
Sure, and that's, if we wanted, if historically, if the clerk's office handles who's on a jury, the names, all of the, pulling the jury, those lists for the year, sending out jury notices for each trial. And then the auditor's office pay those individuals that sit on a jury. So how this came to be is Wendy's office notified my office 2 months ago, month and a half ago, that my Pettit jury line item was in the red. Cecilia comes to me, says, I don't know, Justin, don't know how that is, because she keeps a pretty good handle on it. I said, I don't know, Cecilia, that's what you do, check it out. Cecilia went and requested every list of the jurors for every trial that we had this entire calendar year, which is all this stuff. She took home over the weekend on her own time and went through every single juror that we've had this year. There's a handful of jurors who still haven't been paid. There are some jurors that's been paid once. There's a handful of jurors that's been twice. And there's another handful of jurors that's been paid 3 times. So there's $1,214.06 of my line item that I had nothing to do with. I'm not paying. I'm not moving money from my budget. Pay for something I didn't do. There's $2,302.45 that needs to be moved from my jury pay line item to the Pettit jury, which I've got $8,000 in my jury pay line item. Sure, some point this year we'll do it, no problem. It's $1,214.06. But money's tight. And I've still got another jury that I'm gonna have to pay, because there's a civil jury trial that starts this coming Monday. So I'm gonna have to pay that jury as well. Don't know how long that trial's gonna go. It could very well be a full week, week and a half. So I've got $8,000 in the jury pay line item right now. I've got to use $2,300 of it. So we're at the end of the year, you know, and it's $1,214, but I'm just letting everyone know that if it's all gotta be, you know, squared away and in the black before January 1, $1,214.06.
So at the end of the trial, whatever 12 people's left over, when you're done, there's a verdict. Then do they fill out a form? We got their social security number and their taxes.
I don't get that, no.
I mean, so that goes, so the clerk's office gets that. What if somebody
I-
drops out in the middle of the term?
I don't know what the clerk's office
I mean,
there.
I don't see, I mean, just like if anybody doesn't work for us, when you're done with the work, you sign, I need your social security number, I need an address to mail the check to, so I can take out taxes and whatever.
The individuals are supposed to give all that information to the clerk's office. They should have that.
And the ones that has been overpaid, they have been bringing it back, so that's the good thing. We was able to do stop payment on $800 of it, so. That, at least they're being honest and bringing it back.
So did that money go back into that fund?
Yes, it goes back to where it came from.
There's $1,214.06.
So what you're short?
Still, after the 800.
Was there some that didn't?
There's a couple that's mailing them back still, so
Okay,
it just, we
Most
haven't received those
but
yet.
those people are like being,
Yeah, and if I knew who the names that, I could do a stop payment on it and fix the problem, but
yeah,
that's something I'll have to get with Lisa and him about.
Yes.
That doesn't sound like a problem.
Huh?
I mean,
What, to fix that?
well, yeah, that fixes
Issue?
that problem, but it doesn't fix the problem that created the problem.
No, because what happens is from now on, when the judge's office gets the list from Lisa, they're gonna make sure everything, what they see is what's on there. And then when I get it, I'm gonna be the one, I'll pay the juries out from now on. That way I can monitor it more closely.
There's jurors being paid. You know, nothing should be paid out of my line items unless I turn a claim in for it to be paid, or Cecilia does, or Jamie does. But there's jurors being paid and no one from my office has turned a claim in payment. The last juror that got paid, no one out of my office asked for that third check to be sent to him.
They didn't ask for it, they brought the list down. And whenever accounts payable types in the name, if there's a period behind that name or anything, it don't bring it up. And she doesn't know how to do it by amounts, so that's why I'm saying I'll take over that. Paying the juries, that way it'll just be between 3 people and we can keep it straight.
But if there's no claim, how could you pay it? Because then that's the problem.
They bring a list down, if they bring the claim down, they brought a list down, and so they brought the claim down and said. These juries have not, they had it highlighted on there, which ones had not been paid. It didn't have a claim attached to it because it was already a claim created, it was just names that was missed off of the list.
Here's a claim sheet right here that Cecilia was gonna turn in to have one juror paid. She found out the juror was paid without any claim sheet being turned in. So I said, keep it, mark an X to it so you don't turn it in again. But that's the claim sheet. That's what gets turned in for someone to be paid. And so I'm watching my budget, I'm watching my line items dwindle and go into the red, and I've not asked for anybody to be paid. And now it's $1,214.06. And so when we're talking about pension pennies and money, and we all know it's tight. But we're at the end of the year, and I didn't want to be making phone calls or having conversations the week of Christmas, trying to get things squared away. So that's just to put on the radar. And then the other thing is the raises for Jamie and Cecilia. And I brought it up before you vote on the salary ordinance or budget. I don't have anything different to say than what we talked about or what I proposed in the September budget meetings. Handouts that I gave. And I know. I think some of the discussion that's gone on, but not all of it. If there's questions that anyone has, or if there's anything, objections, questions, issues, anything, that's why I'm here, is to answer those, to have a discussion if it's needed. If there's an objection, I'd like to know why. What would the hangup be? As it relates to those specific requests. Because right now, they each make $32,500 a year. I think with the proposal, it goes up to 35. I don't have my proposed budget, what I gave you in September in front of me. I want to say I asked for 42 or 43,000 a piece. Because that's based upon what every office in every county around us makes doing that exact same job. And I'm not asking for any money from the county. I'm asking to use the money that I'm making in the county. And I'm not even asking to use all of it. So
What was that program?
it's the public defender reimbursement. And it brings in, for the last 3 years I've been doing it, anywhere $40,000 to $50,000 annually. It's done by quarter. So at the end of each quarter, Jamie and Cecilia send that paperwork in. They do spreadsheets, get it all compiled for the quarter. They send it to Indianapolis to the Public Defender Commission. And then the check gets sent, or the funds get sent here. They go straight into the general fund. I don't know that they should. I've never questioned it because I don't care. So the money's always gone into the general fund, and it's always been between $40,000 and $50,000 annually. Where the county has used it for whatever, it goes into the general fund. So that's what I propose that their increase come from, is the money that office is generating out of that. And leave the rest in the general fund. I don't care. I just want them to make what they should make out of those funds.
Judge, do you know if you've got the ability to do like stipends through any fund sources that you have, if that
I don't.
happens to be in those fund sources?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. And I don't care. To me, it makes no difference how it gets done. I don't care how it gets done. I don't care if it's through a bonus, stipend. I don't care. But for me, it's the exact same thing that I proposed in September, and the reason's the same, every county around us, I know what the employees they're making, they do the same job. And they don't, do any less or any more. It's the same job in courthouses all around us. It'd be a harder ask for me to come and do if I was asking the county to give me some funds from somewhere else. Take it from here and let me have that. I'm not doing that. This is money that I'm bringing in already, and I've not used any of it.
Would that ever?
Let me say something on that. Indiana's like the federal government. Anything that's collected becomes a ward of theirs. So what this money that is collected, what our lady does that figures our budget, she estimates she takes the money you collected last year and estimates what you'll be collecting this year, and it goes into the budget as revenue. So this money is not really up for grabs to do what you want to do with it. It's sort of already been spent, so to speak, for our budget. However, there is some, it's, when you do estimates, you don't do the full amount, you do conservative. I believe a lot of it, she does like 90%. So we have some money to play with. I would propose that we give Justin what he wants, because all he has to do is demand it and we have to give it to him. So he's really
I don't like, that's not what I'm getting at.
I know.
That is not what I'm not.
So it would be roughly 12,000 each, right? Make them.
No, 6.
Six.
It's about 6.
12.
Total.
So both of them together would be 12.
Will that amount that comes in, like you're talking about, does that ever change or?
Changes every quarter because as Bill's talking about, if the lady is forecasting it, it would be forecast on, it's all based upon my public defenders and how many cases they get.
Mhm.
You know, how many chins cases they get, how many criminal cases they get, or how many juvenile delinquency cases they get and work. And then the state sends back a percentage
Mhm.
based upon the caseload.
Okay.
So it's never gonna be the exact same dollar amount because the caseload changes
Mhm.
every day, every week. It's always gonna be a different amount of cases every quarter, but you can look back. We've only been doing it. I started doing it whenever that was I got here, September of 20 something. We started doing it then. And so it's been different every quarter, but it's for the annual number, it's always been
Mhm.
around $40,000 to $50,000. Maybe one year is up around 60 annually.
Can it ever be taken away or stopped, that program or whatever?
If you don't comply, if you don't do what the commission asks you to do, as far, you know, like for instance, the public defenders that handle CHINS cases, so DCS, Child Need of Services. If you don't do the training, the number of hours that the commission requires you to do, then they won't reimburse you.
Mhm.
If your public defenders aren't certified to do that, then they won't reimburse you.
Mhm.
So as long as you comply with what the commission standard is and what they want you to do,
Mhm.
then you'll get the reimbursement. If not, then no, they won't.
Okay.
So you gotta comply, and so then it's my job to make sure that my public defenders are certified and that they've done the continued education, all those things. And if I get a public defender that, I've got the same one, the voice, that for some reason they wake up and say, I'm not gonna do it, well, then I'm not gonna pay it, you're gonna have to get, that'd be a breach of their contract.
Okay.
So it should continue. I don't see why it would. As long as
It's kind of, and I don't remember why, I was probably here, but I don't remember why, but for them funds to come back in the general fund, if I related that to another program like, I don't know, like in the sheriff's department, Houghton, taking on prisoners and getting a fee for them, and we don't throw that just in the general fund.
I don't think that it should, I don't think that it can.
I'm not sure.
Should. Obviously it does.
I'm not sure, not all of it.
Yes.
It goes back in.
Used to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah, we changed, yeah. And Connie comes to mind that really, if you wanted to control the whole fund, you could. I mean, you do the work.
Well, that's my issue. I mean,
It's a reimbursement.
that's my,
You're doing
my
the work to
issue.
get it.
I mean, so it's gonna be the end of the quarter soon. And so, as I said in September, how am I gonna go to Jamie and Cecilia and say, hey, guys, do you don't mind doing this quarter spreadsheet to get all this money? You can't have your raises. I still want you to do the work, but you're not gonna get the raises. But I want you to continue to do the work and get us 50 grand. We're gonna put all that money in the general fund and you're not gonna see any of it on your salary, but I want you to do the work that you have to do anyways.
Mhm.
I'm not going to.
Mhm.
Was that a motion, Bill?
I have two changes I'd like to
Okay.
see done to this salary ordinance, and two only. I'd like to see the bailiff and
Can
the
we
court,
just stick with Justin right now?
do what?
But can we just deal with his issue?
I think he's wanting to just do the judge and
Or
then
you want to do the salary ordinance?
I was wanting to take care of Justin.
One at a time.
All right, my motion would be to raise the bailiff and the court reporter to 41,306.95.
What was it, Bill?
41,306.95.
That's just.
I'm happy with. I'm happy with that.
all right, we got a motion by Bill
Mhm.
to raise the bailiff and the court reporter to 41,925.
Second.
Second by Lucas.
Mhm.
All those in favor?
Aye.
7.
You want to deal with the other
Yeah,
proposal I have?
Mhm.
well, yeah, because I was gonna get to that next, but I think I know where you're going. I hope you was going the same direction.
Well,
But I was
We'll find
out.
I propose, and this is,
Do you have anything else, Justin?
I don't. And on the 12.
We'll figure out the 12-1406.
We'll get it fixed.
Someone get a hold of me at the end of the year, everybody's hands are up in the air. I just want it to be on your radar.
It'll be
Gotcha.
fixed.
Thank you, have a good Christmas.
You too, thank you.
I've done a lot of thinking about what we agreed on in the budget hearing. I didn't agree, the majority of you did. And I want to propose to you again, giving all the employees a 4%, except the ones that state mandated, instead of cutting the EMS and our public service people to 2%. I feel like by doing the 2%, you're not covering the cost of living, you're actually taking back,
Didn't we just do it? Yeah, didn't we just do a percentage?
and you're taking a little bit of it back by not giving them 4%. Because 2% didn't cover the cost of living. So you're taking some of that raise back. We should never do that.
How do you figure we're taking it back?
Because you didn't give 2% doesn't cover the cost of living. They're making that,
I mean, the percentage before though. That everybody else didn't get.
those jobs that we raised, we did it with public safety tax money.
Right.
We raised them because they were way under. And I think we should go with the 4% with all. It would make it a lot easier for payroll instead of cutting 2% here and 4% there. I think
But
That wouldn't matter, what's put in there is what's put in the amounts. But I have no vote in this matter, because if I did, I would not vote for that, because I just don't think that is right by any means. Because nobody else got that $10,000 raise, that does just as much work as they did. And I know that law enforcement is very important, and that's why I was okay with that raise they got. But,
you should be okay with whatever we do, Wendy.
I don't have, I mean, I have to deal with it, yeah, and be okay with it, but that don't mean that I have to like it too much.
You don't have to like it, but you don't have to voice your opinion either, because it's for the council to decide, not you.
Well, if I want to talk on the agenda though, I could.
Well, that's for another. We don't need to argue about that. Bill, I mean, I see what you're saying, and I don't disagree by no means. But I want to switch gears if I can here. Chase,
Yes.
you got about the same situation, correct, as what Justin does in your department?
I do, yeah.
Don't you have money?
And I agree with what Bill said about how money is appropriated in this forecast. Not unlike Justin, actually different than Justin, the diversion and deferral funds are not part of the county budget, because they can only be spent by what I agree to. I mean, so those monies are separate, they're not part of the county general, that's the whole point. Now, when it comes to Leanne and the 4D reimbursement, that is true, that is part of the money that is not part of Leanne's salary, my 4D salary, that does go to the county general. But like I said, it's reimbursed at, and actually I said incorrectly at a previous meeting, I said it was 66%. That's not entirely true. It's actually 100% percentage of her salary and then 66% thereafter. So the amount of money that the county is spending, not only on her salary, but her benefits, the insurance, all of that is, every percent of that is reimbursed. That's why my proposal is the salaries that I proposed before. And you guys asked at the October, submit something in writing. I submitted the manuscripts to you in November. Does anybody have any questions about it?
No, I just, while we was doing this, I wanted to go back to that and see. I just wanted to go back to that and before we get too deep in this. And then you get left out, so.
Yeah.
I think that there's a lot of people that need raises.
Yeah.
I think what we have to do, I think we have to get our act together and figure out all these raises. And then we have to raise taxes to pay for it. Like we did the public safety people.
The beauty of the raises that I'm proposing is that you don't have to raise taxes to make the change today. And that's my point, is the funds that are raised solely by my office to be spent by my office, I'm asking to spend on the salaries for my employees. I did not ask Dan to be here. You can see him, this look on his face. He doesn't want to be here. But I mean, that's the reason why I'm proposing that we use the funds that are solely the funds that we raise for those increases. I agree that there are employees that need higher salaries. I don't disagree, but you know, quite frankly, Bill, you of all people sitting at this table, what's not your shine? When we talk about law enforcement and we're talking about funding all of law enforcement, as much as I respect the sheriff's department, and I do wholeheartedly, I would do anything for those guys. I do anything for the town marshals, I would. But in order to put someone in prison, it is not arresting them. It is pushing it through the trial. It is not only when the judge sentences them, it's the work that is done from the moment they're arrested to when they are sentenced. The streets are safer, not only because people are arrested, but because they are charged, which is only through my office, and they are convicted because of my office, and they go to prison. That's why the streets are safer. It's an entire package. And while I agree, I wholeheartely agree with the raises for the sheriff's department. I think that they were needed. I think they were necessary. I think that it gives them the ability, wherever the next 10 people or to bring in new people, that's necessary. I wholeheartedly agree. But the issue is that in order to look at the entire picture of criminal justice, you have to look at not only their office, but my office. And again, with the exception of Leanne, which is the reimbursement money, and I think that argument sort of speaks for itself. We're talking about me spending my own money for my people. It's not talking about spending the county's money. It only exists because, quite frankly, I have Brittany to make sure that all the paperwork gets filed. That is the reason it happens. Or that I have Dan to make sure that stuff gets done. That's why I'm proposing to use my money to do the raises for myself.
And you're positive that don't go into an estimated revenue?
I feel fairly confident in that, Bill, yes.
Well, I'm not.
Okay. I respectfully disagree.
So I would like to find out before I would vote for that. I'm going to Indianapolis Friday. I'll try to find out Friday.
What was your final figure again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or,
On the two administrative.
Yeah, well, I went on.
so with the 4% well paid factor, it's, in addition to the 4%, I want to say it's 65 per the two of them. That's not counting the benefits, or I have no idea what the benefit number is off the top of my head. But the beauty of this is it's actually less money than it even looks like, because since the money that was moved for the investigator was moved out of the diversion deferral funds anyway, even though we appropriated the money, that was the conversation we had in October, where it looks like the dam was making another 12,000 more than it was. If the county general is already assuming the cost, the base cost of the investigator, then the extra money that was already allocated under my budget would be reallocated yet again to boost the salary. So it works out that the money works out. I want to say it's between 12 and 13,000.
This is for your assistant and the child support clerk, is that
No,
correct?
child support clerk is funded through 4D. That's the reimbursement algorithm, where what I was suggesting is that in lieu of part of that money going to the county general, the reimbursement funds, part of them fund her, because the net cost of the employee is still less than another employee, because it's the one 66%. It's the investigator and officer.
Okay. So what's the total of that fund that comes back to you, the diversion fund?
Which fund? They're two different funds, diversion and
Give
appropriate.
me the totals of total.
Total.
So, well, the balance in the pretrial diversion is in the, 1,000 range right now. If we were to not discuss the increase, the deferral fund is roughly net neutral. Like it's rough, with a little bit of balance added, the amount of money that we spend between depositions and equipment and the money that was spent on Dan, it works out to, we add a little bit each year to it. Now, when you look at the free trial fund, we do take in less than we have in the past, but there's also something like $52,000 sitting in that account. And it has been for years. Different conversation about carpet, we're not doing this today, but it's that I want to pay for carpet, fine, we were doing this today. Anyway, the point is that the deferral fund is roughly net neutral with a little bit extra.
So
I
you're,
guess I'll ask you a second question. Do you know, is there a way that you can fund your staff?
So when it comes to money that is not 4D money, No, because I mean, that looks suspiciously like.
That's what I'm asking, is there?
Now, when it comes to child support, I can institute a bonus program. And that's what Fund 8897 is there's. I think 17,000 in the account, I've allocated 15 of it to do the bonuses, and there's an algorithm that's on file in the auditor's office of how that money works. And it's per hours, so it's between Dan and Leanne. It has to do with the number of hours they work, their 40 hours in a week. And I think it's 60-40 or 70-30 that the bonus program works. And I can do that for specific funds, and that's only with the funds that are returned. Now, those funds are different than diversion deferral in that they're based off a percentage of money that when the money is collected by the state, then the 40 money is collected. The state sends back a portion of that into those very specific funds. That money can only be used for 40. So the issue with giving a bonus to my office manager is that although she does do minuscule 40 work, she gets the mail that has the stuff in it. She doesn't truly do the stuff that would warrant having a bonus in that system. But if you use, it's incredibly not good to do a stipend for staff using, I mean, you know how it looks. The words bribe are used.
The 40, how does that work? Because that's also the clerk's office.
Okay, kind of. So that,
Right, so-
that's, there's a misconception. There was something that said at a previous meeting that isn't entirely accurate. So there's two types of 4D. There's the 4D that is through my office, which is through 4D being essentially part of the Child Support Bureau. That's probably gonna change. They're probably going to the Treasury office. Doesn't matter today. But that's where the incentive funds and those funds come from. When it's a private child support, not truly 4D, but child support, that is what the clerk's office does. So I mean, they are fundamentally different. There's a memorandum of understanding about what it is each office's jobs are supposed to do, orders that are entered by the clerk's office. When they're not entered by the clerk's office, that my office then has to do later, even though people in the clerk's office are paid to do that. Different conversation for a different day. But the money, there's child support, there's 4D. We use the terms interchangeably, but they're not really the same, right?
So the difference will be, I voluntarily go in and pay my child support at the clerk's office. Or I don't pay it and you go after me, kind of like Tim's, your program you've got.
Travis program.
Yeah,
Sure, so
that's
they're,
where you're going after tax returns.
well, so several different things. There's, when a couple is divorced, or if that's usually there's a child support order that is through that case. That has nothing to do with my office until you seek our services. That involves, again, applying for the application. And then, that's when we open certain cases where, that's why we have Child Support Day every month, right? So we have, yes, it's not only tax returns, it's also, we took a lot of COVID relief funds,
Lottery.
lottery winnings. We filed into an estate to seize our money. Like, we will find a way to get the money. That's not a problem. But that is where we have certain tools that, well, ours are more coercive than voluntary, I guess is the way to look at it. Because our office also has the ability, if someone is delinquent to a certain degree, as any law enforcement officer knows, we can suspend your driver's license and your hunting permit. And it would astound you how quickly money is paid to search that. But I mean, they are fundamentally different jobs. I feel like I didn't really answer your question.
No, you did.
Okay.
It was a question in a question, or a statement to a question.
Sure.
So, yes, thank you.
Any other questions? Try to give you guys a sob story. I'm not. I mean, that's not me. But like I said, the benefit of what I'm proposing is it really doesn't. Like I said, because now are there other things in the diversion and deferral funds that they're budgeted? Sure. I think if you have it in front of you, there's deposition, there's witness fees, there's so forth. If you also look at the projections of the last 3 years, I have spent maybe a third of those respectively for those items, barring, God forbid, something crazy were to happen and we're involved in a 3-year piece of, every 3-year case. I never use that money. So the answer is we cut that out. Like I said, the thing is the numbers are sort of misleading because the money that is currently budgeted, like if you look at last year's budget or even when I proposed this year, where I'm asking for diversion deferral funds to pay part of Dan's salary. that money. You guys made the decision to move his salary to the county general. So the money in both diversion and deferral, only part of that would need to get to the number that I'm proposing, even though I've already budgeted for. Does that make sense? It made a lot more sense in my head before I started talking. But I mean, that, like I said, the point being is that between diversion and deferral, I can cover the salary increases for my office manager, for Brittany, and for my investigator, Dan. And for Leanne, what I'm proposing is, of course, the reimbursement, that being tweaked slightly, because otherwise, I mean, quite frankly, my office is not obligated to do 40 work. Not commonly known that if my office decided we were gonna close up shop, another county would have to take over. But those funds only come in because of Leanne working to do the job she does. I mean, like I said at the previous meeting, whether it's garnishments, whether it's establishing paternity, whether it's, I mean, there's a plethora of things she does in order to get to the number that's reimbursed in.
So
For
you're,
attorney, I'd say.
Max, you want to chime in here?
This is the prosecutor, correct?
Yes,
yes,
And then you're talking about the diversion fund, correct?
diversion fund.
The diversion fund and the deferral fund, that separates them, yes.
And the
So
deferral.
basically, yeah, what he's saying is, correct. Do we have anybody salary being paid out of those funds right now?
Well, yes, but that's based. I mean, in this fiscal year, the answer to that question is yes. That's part of my investigator's salary. The budget that was proposed after the budget meetings in September moved the money, moved the amounts of monies that were allocated in diversion and deferral, essentially moved them to the county general, except for part of the 4D. But the actual money itself that I appropriated is essentially sitting in a line item that would otherwise not be spent. Because if he's paid the salary that we're proposing, that money wouldn't be necessary.
I thought, I might be wrong, I'd have to look it back up, but I was under the impression that there's only certain things that can be paid using a diversion fund.
And you would be correct.
Fund.
You would be correct. Those items are governed by statute. That statute is.
Well, my question is, how did some of that money go into the county general?
I'm sorry,
How did the money go in the county general?
it doesn't. It is not part of the county general. So
What he was saying was, Chase, if this is right, is you're saying they took it and started paying from county gen, correct?
what I'm saying is that the amount of money that was appropriated through my diversion and deferral funds, when the salaries were drawn by the county council, I'm assuming it was Jackie's idea to do this. It was to move that salary fully into the county. I only say that because of the conversation during the budget meeting. That money was moved, the amount of money in question was moved, or was allocated through the county general, not moved, that's the wrong word. It was allocated through the county general rather through my diversion and deferral funds.
Get that, Max?
Yeah. So generally speaking, this is how I'm think about it, is that if you would want to use the diversion fund to pay for an entire salary, then you should feel free to do that and free up more money for the county general. And if there's a set salary that this body decides to put on this employee, then any money that wouldn't make it from the diversion fund would have to be supplemented by the county general. So we're looking at dollar for dollar, in essence, is what I'm getting at. Is it the county's money or is it the prosecutor's money? It sounds like the prosecutor's willing to put up his funds, the diversion fund, to pay for the salary.
To supplement the salary, very different.
Say that again?
To supplement the salary, not in lieu of the salary.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say. Why wouldn't the council consider in lieu? Rather than to supplement I mean, obviously, we're saying the same thing, it sounds like.
But we're really not, because we're talking about the different amounts of money. If we talk about the 4% raise that's proposed and the county were to do that, which is what's proposed now, that's one thing. If we're talking about the 4% raise by the county, in addition to the amount of money that I'm willing to put up from my offices, essentially our discretionary funds. That is why I'm proposing the money to go so that it is a higher salary in the end.
Yeah, this is like, this type of conversation is something that I think should be discussed at budget so that you all can work together in order to figure out the best possible way, because there's $8,000 there just sitting, it sounds like. Is that not correct?
That is functionally correct, yes.
And so this fund can be depleted every year because it's going to be making, there's going to be crimes, and there's going to be people who have to get on diversion and deferrals, traffic deferrals and diversions. So that's something. So that fund will build up over the year, and county general should be used to supplement whatever salary is coming from there. And yes, the greater portion of the money should probably be coming for the county general, but the county general should be supplementing the salary that's being paid out of diversion. If diversion and deferral don't have any money, then obviously county general needs to make a difference. That's what the setting of the salary is. So what he's asking is not exactly, can I use this money to pay for a salary? What he's asking is, can we set her salary at this? We have available funds in the diversion pool that we can use to appropriate towards her salary.
Thanks a lot. We get there.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
For the record, this is why people hate lawyers. I say that as a lawyer, okay?
But it's all dollar for dollar. It's all county money. So
Mhm.
that's where I think that it lives in the forest through the trees. Yes, this fund is available. And it sounds like that the prosecutor is willing to work with the county in order to get his employees up to par, is, appropriate for given our employment. So I think that that's something that needs to be discussed further. And it looks like you can utilize that in beginning of next year, even if you all wanted to table this until another sitting, is what I would advise. Is work on this to make sure the prosecutor's happy with what he has available.
All right, thank you, Max.
Thank you.
So, with that being said, I mean, we have to pass this salary ordinance.
I would make a
This
motion to
meeting.
table this prosecutor's proposals until we know a little bit more about it and how to do it. Cause it's not gonna stop there. You're gonna go on,
Oh,
you'll
yeah.
have the clerk in here,
I know.
you're gonna.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
While I'm not disagreeing, for what it's worth, we're doing this already right now.
Go ahead.
Sorry. So you all are setting salary ordinance for next year right now. If you all have a situation in which you would like to change that and even revert it back to January 1 of 2026, you all have that opportunity. You can
Right.
revert back.
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
That, all right. I just
Yeah.
wanted to make sure
Yeah.
that unless you all know that's possible.
Yeah, right, exactly, okay. So Bill's got a motion to table this till we can look into it further, come up with a solution. We got a second.
I'll second that.
Mark seconds it, all those in favor? Well, 7-0, we'll table that and we'll revisit it.
Thank you, Chase. Thanks.
Now,
Morton.
yeah, Morton's got something and then we'll continue, but we're gonna get to.
We wore him out again.
Yeah.
So.
We're all talking about salaries, we're talking about what's coming up in 2026. We just wanted to let the council know that we've been working on a proposal to present to the council in January. Discuss the county highway department and the salaries of the county highway department. They are all paid out of the MVH funds, which is salaries and benefits, which is no money out of the general fund, or out of the county funding. But we do have a proposal that we're going to present to you guys in January. When you got your hands full, so it's something we'll talk about next month. How about that, okay?
About next year.
Yeah.
Next year.
Next October,
Next year. Next
yeah,
October.
September.
Yeah.
October, there you go.
January.
I feel laughed after that. Thanks a lot.
All right, so we got that, now we'll go back, you had a motion a while ago,
On the, I would
Does it
like to
still-
see
does it still
all
stand?
our people get 4%,
So we'll
except for the state mandated salaries.
run it, since you got a motion on it, Bill's got a motion. To give everybody 4% except for the salary mandated. Or the mandated salaries.
I told him that day of budget that I was real close to backing him when he done that.
Yeah.
I probably would go with that, so I'll make
Well, I
a
know.
second.
We went back and forth, back and
Yeah,
forth.
we did. We talked forever.
All right, Mark's got a second.
I'm just gonna say,
Yeah, go ahead.
and I don't disagree with Bill or Mark. It was just that I feel like it was a little unfair that we give them I don't know if that was a 4 or 5% raise that we gave them a few months ago. And then we turn around and give them another 4. I'm not saying they don't deserve it, but yeah, it's just that it's hard to.
I get what you're saying, and what I feel like that we did. We had a problem with EMS, and I feel like we fixed it. So far, so good. It's working. Jeff brought us a problem with the sheriff's department, we was not in trouble, so to speak, but we was heading that direction. So we fixed it. I see what you're saying. I guess what I'm saying, look, yes, it was a raise, but in my mind, we fixed a problem that had been going on for years, probably before the majority of us sitting here said, maybe Bill.
Yeah,
Uh,
and I understand you.
And we've got more problems. We've got,
Yeah, that's just,
Every department.
We're gonna hear a lot more problems.
and I've told you guys, and you guys have said it too. Once we start this, it's like rolling a snowball down the hill.
Yeah,
You're gonna keep, so,
that's what I was trying to avoid.
yeah, so, and me as well. But Bill's got a motion, Mark's got a second.
And then be sure that, and
But-
understand that this is money that's already there. We don't have to hunt for it. It's paid for by the public safety tax
Right,
for these two departments.
yes.
Understood.
I would, before I ask for any more discussion on this, before we take the vote. We'll vote on this and whatever the outcome is, it is. And we'll look into. Chase, we'll discuss that and continue on as well as every other department
We'll just take it one at a time.
throughout the year, from now till next August, September.
Yeah.
When we sit down again for these budgets,
Yeah, I just don't wanna forget everybody else.
we need to come up with a plan. We've got a lot of stuff to fix. And I think we're making headway.
We are.
We're fixing problems. But we can't, do them all at once. So. Anybody else got any discussion on this before we take it to a vote? We got a motion by Bill to go 4% across the board, except for state mandated salaries. Mark seconded. All those in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All those opposed? 2 to 5.
And not that I don't think they deserve it.
That's right.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah. I agree.
Max, what's that take on the salary ordinance? Is that,
I think we're gonna have to sign this one and then we'll have to amend it in January.
We should do
Because the
that.
majority must.
majority? Okay,
Yeah.
all right, that's all I need. Next.
Just go ahead and get it out.
So we'll have to pass this one as written. And then amended,
Yeah.
do an amendment, and then they can that'll have to be in January,
Yeah.
and then
We'll have to
just have to back
retroactive
pay.
it back, yeah.
back pay, so.
Motion to pass the salary ordinance
Got a motion by Bill to pass the salary ordinance as written with the mandate or
with the
amendments in January. We got a second.
I'll second.
Marcus seconded. All those in favor of passing the salary ordinance? 7-0. Thanks everybody for your help on this. This is for the salary ordinance, not the. While that's going down, I talked to, Max and Greg about, or Greg in particular, sent him an email, copied Mark on it. Last year we did an ordinance to let Wendy pay. After this meeting's over, we're not gonna meet again until after the first year. There's bills that's gotta be paid. That's coming in the mail between now and January 1st. And last year we did an ordinance to allow her to pay any bills, electric bill, water bill, or whatever that comes in between now and January 1st. He's saying we don't have to do that. We could give her the authority just by a vote, giving her the okay to pay the bills coming in.
It's to do the transfers or additionals to
Right,
make sure that all the.
everything's paid at the end.
So that close out for the end of the year,
Right.
yeah.
So that's something else we'll have to do. But he said we don't have to do the ordinance, for her to be able to do that. If we give her, yeah,
If there is no additional appropriations that are necessary in order to pay those, and it's just simply transfers from one fund to the next. You can give her the authority to do that. Just to, clean up the bills and whatnot, you can ratify that at the next meeting. That would probably be the most effective way to do that.
so do we need to vote on that then to let her do?
If you want to, that'd be appropriate. Like I said, it doesn't require like an additional appropriation. So that's the reason why there doesn't necessarily need to be an ordinance attached to this. But yeah, if you would like to vote on that, that sounds like something just to make sure that everyone's on giving her the authority to transfer what's necessary in order to pay those bills.
So some of the funds, there's not a whole lot that we gotta fix, actually. We're actually very impressed this year. But a couple of them is gonna have to be a budget adjustment, which is considered an additional, not a transfer. But I'm gonna have to do it in order to fix the fund. And it's just bringing it down from the cash account into the line item is all it's doing.
Same fund, different item.
It'll be the same fund, it'll just be going from the cash account where all the money is held in that fund. Down to like office supplies, for example.
Is office supplies one of the county general items in this context?
Well, I mean, if it is the case, I mean, there's a lot of departments within county gen, I'm not saying that's one of them, I'm just giving an example. But if a line item is negative, no matter if it's health insurance or what have you, I'm gonna have to fix it, and if I can't find a way to transfer it from line item to line item, the only way to fix it is by doing an additional, which is bringing it from the cash account down to the line item.
Same fund, all right?
Within the same fund though, it's not going like.
So that's what you're saying, Max, as long as it's in the same fund.
Yes, but whenever I'm saying that, I need to make sure that we're on the same, page, because, so every department has, certain funds that have, line items within those. If they were transferring one from one line item to another line item, that's perfectly acceptable. But if you're gonna appropriate more money into that fund, then that's whenever it would trigger. It sounds like that the auditor is saying, what I believe it to be true, is these are additional appropriations, actually.
Yes, and actually in January, we don't have to advertise additionals no more from what the state is saying, so. That's a plus, but
But that's, so I think that what my big question is.
Like
These
another-
are foreseeable, if these are foreseeable, if these are foreseeable, bills that are gonna be paid out of funds that don't have enough money, shouldn't those have already been presented before the council so that they could be additional
Well,
appropriated?
we have done that all year long. But when it gets this time of the year, you're gonna have line items that you have to correct, and most of them we can correct with a transfer. That's no big deal, but I mean, it's fine, I'll leave it the way it is.
So what I'm thinking is that when you all do an additional appropriations, because there's not enough money to pay a bill.
It's not that it's enough money to pay the bill, it's that the money is sitting in the cash account and it needs to be down in the line item. So for instance, if they give me $1,000 for my office supplies, but I spend it and I have to have something for my office, like paper, for example. And it puts me negative $30, I have to take from the cash account and put $30 into that line item, so that line item is not negative. If that makes sense.
Do council already appropriate that money before the cash was transferred?
I mean, they didn't appropriate it within it's just sitting in the cash account, so that's why we call it an additional. Because we have to do budget adjustments, and that's where you take it from the cash account down to the line item. But, and you normally advertise those, yes, so.
Okay, so I just wanna give to the council has already given you permission to spend that money, you just don't have the cash in that account in order to spend it.
Well, they gave money in line items for departments, but if that department goes over, now that's an additional, and that's what I'm referring to. And I think that we may be okay to bring these additionals to the January meeting, because we can close out at any time as long as it's done before March. So I think we'll be fine to bring the additionals to the January meeting and take care of that then. So that we can do that the correct way.
Then yeah, let's do it that way. It sounds more appropriate, kosher, and should come out the other hand, has this issue.
No, every county has this issue.
So scratch that, but I'll take no risk, we'll do it in January. That sounds better anyway.
I mean, as far as the transfers, I will be doing from line item to line item within the fund.
I think that, let's go ahead and have that motion.
So you need a motion for that?
Yeah, because some of them might be a different series, but it'll be within the same fund.
Okay.
Exactly, and then therefore, I do believe that transfers are required for the council to approve, but I think that we can go ahead and do that because it doesn't require any advertising for that. That's the reason why I'm okay with doing those.
Correct.
Unlike the additional appropriations for advertising is necessary.
Okay, I just had to bring that up just so that they were aware that I was gonna be doing that, so I'm fine with January for the additional.
We're gonna do January for the additionals. But Max is saying we need a motion to let her move to pay stuff within the fund
Top three were the
in the line items.
On that, just before we get off, because I just wanted to ask this. Is which is it coming from and going to? Like, for instance,
So like, it'll be going from office supplies to
on your three additionals, look on the sheet, on the sheet here of the
all
resume.
the ones that we're doing for tonight,
Yeah.
from last time. So it's going from Sheriff's Department Transportation Fund, that's an additional, and it's going down to the Sheriff's Department fuel, for 13,000.
That's because there was only that much.
They need that much to get through the rest of the year.
Has anybody got an extra one of those? I didn't get one.
We probably got shuffled down.
We did, there you go.
Oh, here you go.
You had one of those,
Linda took it.
No, I didn't,
She
I
needed
didn't.
to,
I think my paper says.
No. We switched.
You wasn't here, and she took your papers, what
we'll
happened?
do that.
So the top three were gonna wait till January.
No, not these.
those are the-
These are for new ones that we have to do. They just don't pay attention to those right now, Sean. We're not talking about that.
But you get slapped on the
Okay.
Just
So you
need a
need,
motion for the transfers, Chad, that's what I need.
Yeah, we need a motion to let her do the transfer.
so I make a motion that we let her do the transfers before January 1.
I'll second it.
Linda seconds it, all those in favor? 7-0.
There's a long way around.
Now we can go to these. Chad.
There we go.
All right. Now, Sean, we'll do the
So these are
resolution for
the,
additional appropriations.
these are the ones that were discussed, last meeting. Except for the sheriff's department fuel, we had to add that one on there because they had to have it in order to get through the end of the year. And that's within their fund. So it's sheriff's department fuel coming from, to sheriff's transportation, sheriff's fuel, 13,767.86. Crawford County Highway Road Preservation. Out of MVH restricted road preservation, 154,401.04. Crawford County Highway Road Preservation, out of Highway Riverboat Road Preservation, 300,000. Let me stop there so you can discuss those.
Yeah.
So the sheriff, EMS and highway department are all on 3 different accounts.
Yes, they all have their own account. For fuel, yes.
John, the way that works is there is a Crawford County Fuel Fund, but it's never had anything, at least since I've been here 3 years, it's never had anything put in it. So what we do is we pay all the fuel bills as they come in out of our riverboat fund. And then once a quarter, I send a bill to the other departments and then they pay their bills and then we put it back.
Do they still use a Voyager card or something similar to that? But
It's a PIN. We put a new system in last year and so some of the fuel receipts actually went up because we found that, under the old system, the highway was absorbing some of the fuel bills because it wasn't capturing some of the sheriff and EMS.
I like the old system.
Yeah.
I was getting ready to ask you, upcharging that.
So we pay all the bills and then once a quarter, we get reimbursed and all that goes back into the riverboat fund from the other department's fund. I don't know why the fuel fund was done away with. I'm guessing it's more, it's easier to keep track by having one payer and then getting reimbursed.
I make a motion that we do these transfers.
All right, got a motion by Bill to do the 3 transfers mentioned. We got a second. Sean seconded, all those in favor? 7-0.
Okay, so for the transfers, it's clerk, deputy 2, going to clerk, deputy 2, or it's 1,000. It's just going from line item to line item. I don't know why she's got deputy 2 there twice, but that's. It's a line, it's going from one line item to the next line item just to get the money in there that she needs. Election printing advertising, going transferring to election clerk's miscellaneous supplies, 2359.77. Election training education going to election voting machines maintenance, 2229.64. Clerk 4D incentive contract going to clerk's 4D incentive capital outlays, 156. Prosecutor investigator going to prosecutor receptionist, 2357.28. Prosecutor depositions going to prosecutor office supplies, 1092. Prosecutor training and education, transferring to prosecutor mileage travel, 150.72. EMS on EMT on call, transferring to EMS part-time, $10,000. EMS EMT on call, transferring to EMS overtime, $30,000. EMS holiday, transferring to EMS supplies, $535. Also transferring to ALS supplies, $600. To utilities, $500. Those were all out of the holiday line. Election machine maintenance, transferring to election supplies, $2,000. Election mileage, transferring to election supplies, $1,000. Adult probation, transferring to Hoosier Hills probation grant, $12,003.08. That one is going from his fund 2001 to his fund 9157, but we have to do that. We talked to Indiana Department of Transportation, I think it was, or somebody, and we have to transfer the $12,000 to get his 2024, because it's like a year behind, kind of, so that he's not as negative at the end of the year. But that's the way they have advised him to fix that. It's going from his own user fees to that fund.
You know, Jim, as we do those, if there's not no discussion.
Yeah, that's what I asked. Tim, what's on call? Is that, because we don't have the call?
It's the name of the
The line.
line item. It's basically, that's the 40-hour. You know, they do 48 hours.
Oh, the regular.
40-hour pay.
So the regular pay,
Straight time pay.
yeah, the regular pay. Wow.
And just to clarify, one of the reason money's going into the overtime is you guys, if you remember, separated overtime and holiday pay. But somehow holiday pay was still coming out of the overtime line item this year.
Yeah, it wasn't.
It wasn't and I know Chance or Tristan put it in the system because we separated it, but for whatever reason, the system was still taking holiday pay out of the overtime, so.
I was just thinking of the old on-call verbiage, you know.
Yeah,
And that's why, that's what we're.
I mean, honestly, that verbiage.
Yeah.
Come out of it, you know, through the on-call.
Should be regular time.
Yeah, it should be just straight time, or EMS straight time.
I'll get you a motion.
Go, Bill, I'm sorry.
I got a motion by Bill to approve, these transfers. We got a second.
I'll say.
Troy seconds it. All those in favor? 7-0.
How's your ratio of full-time, part-time?
We're full staff, we've been full staff since we made the changes in the middle of the year.
The 7 and 7.
Yeah, we have 7, I've got, my EMTs, I think, 5 of them are advanced EMTs and 2 are EMTs, so I've had some of my EMTs that have rated that advanced, so a little bit. Right now, financially, we're better than we have, I know there's like 248,000 left in my budget for the year. So, but we're trying to figure, I don't know that, well, we're gonna have to use a lot of that money to offset for the negative in the annual stack negative. Because there is $130,000 in the negative on the medical side. For the health insurance now. But there's going to be enough money left over in the budget if we can do fund to fund. That's, I think, I don't know if that was possible or not. I know she's been working on that with the State Board of Accounts to see if we can do that. That way we didn't even have to do any additional appropriations. We were just transferring fund to fund and then we balance out and then I'm still at the top of the job.
We've got to make it, aren't we?
No,
Yeah.
that's better.
And the
And
policy,
this year our reimbursements, I mean, last year it was what, 650,000, I think is what come in. We're already at 748,000 this year, so we should come in close to 820. If we average out for the year, so reimbursements are out, we managed to keep overtime going down. Since we've made the changes, we got full staff and then balanced out the reducing the secondary rates.
Would there ever be the possibility to have I'm just gonna call it a BLS transport for like Todd Dickey? That just on those, you know, maybe the station in the South Pretty that's kind of this. Is there enough of a need?
You mean just like convalescent runs?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, because general, and I'll just be honest with you, you don't make it, they don't pay anything because,
The rate for Medicare.
well, you have to meet certain criteria to be ambulance transport anyway. I mean, and Medicare sets those standards. I mean, you have to be 100% completely stretcher bound. You know, and most of the people can sit in wheelchairs and be transported by a wheelchair van. So doing stuff like that it's not where, I mean, you're gonna lose money, you're gonna spend more money than what you do. However, there are some things we've looked at as far as possibly, and I know we're surrounded by Deaconess now, with Deaconess taking over Harrison County. You know, every place struggles to move patients from hospital to hospital.
Yes.
So could we hire people and do transfers? Absolutely. And that's something we've already looked at. We know for every one transfer per day, we would average, because I've got what the building company, right? So we've looked at the numbers. So every one transfer per day that we do is $250,000 reimbursement for the year. So if we did 4 transfers a day, there's $50,000.
What scares me is that we dedicate our paramedic and advanced services and then are required to answer the call for a transfer.
Well, and that's why I would as far as like those trucks. Now,
No, I mean like for Tom Dickey, if there's that.
You got everything?
I think so. It's all good, Tim. You're doing good. Appreciate it.
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Bill's got a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second, Floyd.
You guys don't even know these cookies. My wife will think I talk too
What
much.
time did you make this time?
Meeting adjourned.
What time did you make this one?
She always makes the same time.
What was the ones that we had?
Right here?
That same one, okay.
Where did
Put
she?
some damn stuff down.
They're down.
Yeah.
Is them papers all down there?
Hey, you got any signatures? Okay.
Tell her thank you.
Okay, good work.
Yep.
I bet you're gonna have to.
Is it Merry Christmas to you, Bill?
Oh, yeah,
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Take care.
Yourself.
Good to meet you. Thanks for coming over.
Merry Christmas, man.
Yep, thank you. See you. Hope your chief's
So we need to
okay.
move this table.
Good.